Hi, this is the Atari Collector again, and the game that I'll be presenting to you today is called Tank Command for the Atari 7800 ProSystem. This is a game that was made by Froggo games. I believe they made just a total of 2 games for the Atari 7800. The other game is called Water Ski. Both of those games are actually rare. In fact, this one, Tank Command, is probably the rarest game for the Atari 7800. Complete in-box copies of this game, like the one that I have, certainly sell for more money than any other CIB game for the Atari 7800, as far as I know. So if you're into collecting original carts for classic systems, expect to pay a large amount to get this game. Otherwise, you might simply want to take the emulation route if you want to play this game. Now, as always, I'd like to begin with the original story from the back of the game box and the original instruction manual, which is as follows. The final offensive is on, and it is a maximum effort. The enemy has been driven back to its treacherous home turf, and like a she-wolf defending its den, they would rather fight to the death than surrender. You are the commander of an elite tank division, equipped with the newest XT-87 heavy tanks, with orders to lead the spearhead and drive straight through to the enemy's capital. You must penetrate their defenses and triumph despite the enemy's valiant, suicidal last stand. Your only route to capturing the enemy flag lies through their most heavily fortified sector, and as you advance, the danger and potential of death increases. They're waiting for you with everything they've got. The terrain is covered with anti-tank pillboxes, heavy artillery, and invisible tank traps. Watch out! Enemy tanks and armored vehicles appear from every direction. Suicide squads of infantry equipped with LAW, which stands for Lightweight Anti-Tank Weapons, wait in ambush, and surprise air attacks threaten your every move. Your tanks come equipped with 50 rounds of ammo, a full tank of gas, and the ability to move in any of 8 directions. Zero in on your targets by aligning your cannon, choosing the appropriate range energy level, and letting fly. Your battle screen tracks your progress with ammo and fuel indicators on the upper right and an energy firing level which you set yourself on the bottom right. The left button on your control stick sets your range and the right button fires your shells. If you lose a tank, the next one appears in its place with a full rack of ammo and a full tank of fuel. If you run out of fuel, you can still fire, but otherwise you're a sitting duck, unable to maneuver. You have 7 tanks and a limited supply of fuel and ammo. As you accumulate bonus points, you earn fresh tanks. Because you are deep in enemy territory, you can resupply your current tank's fuel and ammo only by capturing enemy supply dumps. These appear as flashing icons on your computer screen rangefinder. Tank traps have been cleverly camouflaged. You won't know one's there until you're in it. The only way out is back the way you came, even though the enemy may be closing in on you. Now, I honestly don't know what these tank traps are that the instruction manual is talking about. Hopefully, in a little bit, I'm going to play through the whole game and hopefully beat it. I have practiced a little bit, and I don't think I've ever found one of these invisible tank traps that whenever you're stuck, you can only back out of it the way you came. So I don't know. Maybe I'll find one by accident or something, or maybe it was something they were going to put in the game and never did. But I'm not sure exactly what those are. The instruction manual continues. You must pass through 3 levels of difficulty to achieve your primary target, capturing the enemy flag. As you advance through the devastation and destruction of levels 2 and 3 and near the enemy capital, you will face increasing amounts of firepower. Air attacks, artillery barrages, and missile silos will rain death upon you. The enemy has concentrated their forces around their flag, and with their backs against the wall, attacks come with a desperate fury. Victory depends upon your quick wits, planning, and accuracy. Good luck. Now, the instruction manual doesn't mention any different difficulty settings, so this game simply has the one single-player mode, which consists of 3 levels, as I just read, and if you beat all 3 levels, then you've seen all that the game has to offer. Now, of course, there is a high score, so you can always try to replay the game and see what max score you can get, which I think always adds a lot of good replayability to these classic games. Now, as for scoring, the instruction manual indicates that it takes 4 shells to destroy a pillbox, and it's worth 1,600 points. So the pillbox is actually what you see on the screen there. It's those gray blocks, and there's a machine gunner who's going to be shooting at me out of them. Basically, if you want to destroy them, it's going to cost you 4 shells, but you'll get 1,600 points. An enemy tank takes 1 shell to destroy and is worth 1,000 points. So obviously, later on, whenever the game doesn't give you quite as much ammo, you want to focus more on shooting the tanks, because with a single shot, they're worth more points than wasting your ammo on like the pillboxes or the buildings. A hut takes 2 shells to destroy, and each hit is worth 800 points. So again, those are worth it, 800 points per shot, and they don't fight back, so you might as well shoot them for good points. An enemy jeep takes 1 shot to destroy and is worth 4,000 points. So if you're going for points, you definitely want to shoot the fast, horizontally moving enemy jeeps, which you'll see. And if you crash into a jeep, you get 1,000 points, but you lose a life. So those are the things, they don't fire at you, but if you shoot them, 4,000 points, definitely worth going for if you're going for the high score. As for the law infantry, if you hit one with a tank, you get 800 points. Hit one with one of your bullets or shells, and you get 1,600 points. So those are the humans that are running straight down towards you, and they do fire explosives at you. So it's best if you're going for score to go ahead and shoot them, because 1 shot is worth 1,600 points. That's probably the second most valuable shot next to shooting the jeep with 1 shot, and you get 4,000 points. If you collect a fuel dump with your tank, you get 400 points and all of your fuel back. If you shoot one with a shell, you get 4,000 points. Now, the only time you would want to do that is if your tank gets destroyed near a fuel dump, since your next tank will have all of its fuel to start with, as the instruction manual says. So if you've just lost a life near a fuel dump and have almost all of your fuel, go ahead and shoot a fuel dump to increase your score by a nice 4,000 points. Otherwise, fuel dumps in this game are so scarce that you never want to destroy them, because you will never be able to make it to the next fuel dump in time without dying at least once until then. Now, if you collect an ammo dump, you get 400 points, and on level 1, you get all of your 50 shells back. As the manual said, 50 is the maximum number of shells or bullets that you can have at one time. On level 2, you get 35 shells back by collecting an ammo dump, and on level 3, you get 25 shells. Now, if you destroy an ammo dump, you only get 1,600 points, and it's probably wise never to do that, since you'll get a lot more points if you collect those shells instead and use them to destroy other things that together are worth a lot more points. The manual says that if you hit a missile silo with a shell, it's worth 1,400 points. So again, those are good to shoot at. They only take 1 shell, and they're worth probably the third highest amount of points in a single shot. And then a building takes 6 shells to destroy and is only worth 3,000 points. So that's essentially 500 points per shot, but only if you use all 6 shots, since it's all 3,000 points for destroying the whole building, or nothing if you only partially damage it. So you pretty much only want to destroy the buildings on the early levels whenever you do have a lot of ammo, but in the last stage, level 3, they don't give you so much ammo, so I usually avoid shooting the buildings since it's not really worth the points and wasting ammo. Then if you capture the enemy's flag at the end of level 3, it ends the game and you get 100,000 points. So basically this game is capture the flag. There's just a little flag sitting at the end of level 3. If you capture it, you've penetrated the enemy's capital, you've made it through their defenses, you've taken over their capital, so to speak, and the game's over. Obviously there's no fancy ending. It's just you touch the flag and it shows you your high score, which hopefully I'll be able to show you. Now, the hints section of the manual reads as follows. The law infantry, and again, law stands for, what was that here? Lethal anti-tank weapons. I said it earlier. I can't see it now in the manual. The manual only explains in one place where law... Oh, there it is. Lightweight anti-tank weapons. It looks like they're throwing a bomb right in front of themselves. The law, the lightweight anti-tank weapon infantry, come at you with suicidal, insensate zeal. Aim for their feet, otherwise their armor flak jackets may deflect your shells. Drugged and frenzied, they feel no pain. I always keep my shot on the smallest setting. As the manual explained, there's an energy meter in the lower right screen. If you hit the left button on your controller, you will actually increase the energy level, and therefore each shot will go farther. Well, I'm going to keep it on the minimum setting, so I never have to worry about shooting too far that things are going to ricochet off and back on me, because my shots explode very close to me, and I find that that's actually the easiest way to get through the game. So while the instruction manual talks about building this strategy where you're supposed to constantly keep changing the energy level and therefore the range of your shots, I find it's easier to just leave it on the minimum energy level, keep your shots close towards you, because later on when the game gets fast, enemies come at you real quick. And if you're shooting too far, you're going to be overshooting them and not be able to destroy them. So it makes sense to keep it on the smallest setting, since all of the enemies in this game basically want to ram you and kill you by contact. So you want to be shooting short around you. The hint section further states, watch your fuel indicator closely. If your fuel runs out, your tank is easy pickings. That's obvious. You have a minimal amount of fuel and ammo, enough for victory, but with little margin for error. The success of your mission depends on wisely using your resources and seizing enemy supplies when you can. But be quick. The enemy will destroy its own dumps to keep them out of your hands if you give them the chance. And that can leave you stranded later on. So apparently enemies in this game can actually destroy the fuel and ammo dumps. I actually don't know if I've ever seen that, though. I know that if I accidentally shoot them, they blow up, but I've actually seen explosions hit the ammo dumps and the fuel dumps or enemy explosions, and I don't think I've seen them get destroyed, but maybe the explosions, even though it looked like graphically the explosions were overlapping them, maybe it didn't quite connect with the hit detection. But the instruction manual does say that enemies can destroy those dumps, so you want to make sure that you don't lure them to them so that they destroy them. Make sure you fire your shells with the right amount of range energy set with the left joystick button in 8 incremental levels displayed on the bottom right screen. So that's what I was saying about that energy level there. Overshooting or undershooting an enemy tank or fortification can be a fatal mistake, as well as reducing your effective firepower. Now, I found, as I mentioned before, that keeping the cannon's range level on the minimum level the whole time makes the game the easiest. So if you're having a hard time playing the game, you might want to incorporate that same strategy. Just leave that energy level on the smallest setting and memorize how far each of your shots goes in any of the 8 directions on that minimal setting, so that whenever you're setting yourself up for killing enemies, you'll be able to hopefully hit them every single time. So that's the introduction. That was the story and the information on the back of the box in the original instruction manual, and let's go ahead and we'll now get to the gameplay. So again, this is Tank Command for the Atari 7800. The classic blow and make it work. Alright, enough of that intro screen and music. The game itself doesn't have any music as you're going through. These are the pillboxes that they said. They take 4 shots to destroy. If you keep yourself just a little to the left or right of the straight down shot from their fire, it seems like they can never shoot in that direction. So that's your best shot for avoiding the gunfire from the pillboxes. Just keep yourself a little bit to the left or right of that straight shot. You do want to keep moving quickly upwards in this game. as the instruction manual said, your fuel supply is scarce, so you will run out of fuel if you don't move through here rather quickly. Because the amount of fuel dumps that you find is also rather small. One of the things that I think they should have done better in this game, you'll notice that as I'm shooting, it looks like my shots are going farther than where the explosion from the shots is actually being created. So it's a little, it's weird to get used to at first, but you just sort of have to get used to it. You know that, well, even though it looks like my bullet's going farther, I know where the explosion's going to happen, and the explosion is what actually kills things. I think they actually did destroy. There was an ammo. There was a fuel dump up there that I was hopefully going to collect. But I didn't make it in time, so now my tank is stuck. I have no gas. I cannot move. And I basically just have to wait here until an enemy comes and kills me. That's probably something else that maybe they could have done a little better. I think in Atari Warriors, or however you pronounce it, whenever your tank runs out of fuel, you just blow up and die immediately. But in this game, you actually have to wait for someone to come and kill you. So he killed me. Now I can keep going. I just ran over him. That was only worth 800 points. If I shot him, it would have been twice that, 1,600. But yeah, I think that is the first time the enemy's ever actually destroyed that fuel dump. So at least I got to see that happen. There's a fuel dump. I want to collect it. The first level, you don't have to conserve bullets. They give you enough ammo that you can pretty much destroy absolutely everything. As long as you don't miss a lot. And you never want to destroy the ammo, because even though it's 1,600 points, that's 50 bullets that you could destroy 50 tanks worth and get 50,000 points. So why would you want to do that? You know, destroy the ammo. Yeah, and unfortunately this game, as I said earlier, doesn't have difficulty settings. So this one mode is as difficult as the game will ever get. The first time through the game, it is rather tough. It took me a while to beat it. But now that I have the game memorized, it's pretty easy. I've made it to level 2. Now the tanks on the bottom of the screen are going to be coming in larger numbers. And they're the ones that give you the most trouble. They're the main reason why I like to keep my shots at the minimum firing level. That's one of the buildings that takes... Ah, I got stuck. That's one of the buildings that takes 6 shots to destroy. Oh! They're getting me good. This is one of the missile silos. I think they said worth 1,400 points if you shoot it. Oh, he got me. Now I died near a fuel dump, so I might as well get the 4,000 points for destroying it, since I already have all my fuel with my new tank. Oh, they destroyed the ammo. Or maybe I shot it in that frenzy. Now I can't get so many points. Died. Oh! I died instantly. That I don't so much like. Sometimes you do die and it sets you up to die instantly as soon as you respawn. Or whatever the game would call coming back to life. Today's terminology is respawn. I don't know if that was used back in the day this was made. Oh, hopefully I can still beat this game. No, I think I'm gonna die. Yep, that's it. Alright, this time I'm gonna play through the game, and I'm just gonna focus on seeing if I can beat this. The game's not too long, so I think if you make a perfect run through the game, it only takes about 10 minutes to capture the flag at the end of level 3. That sound effect means I made it to level 2. I do a lot better when I don't talk. I should have focused more on that tank coming up from the bottom. As soon as you see them, you want to take care of them very quickly. Ugh. Oh, got me. That sound effect was me getting an extra life. Must be every 100,000 points you get an extra life. Oh, this is level 3. Now it's going to get really tough. I just want to rush through here and play smart. Oh. Dang it! Come on! Well, last try. I think earlier I said this game's a little easy. I'd take that back. It does offer a good challenge even without the difficulty levels, especially when you make it to level 3. Level 3 is pretty tough. I still don't think I've found the invisible tank traps, though. I'm not sure what that's talking about. Yeah, one thing you've probably already noticed, your fuel tank works like a timer rather than a real fuel tank. So no matter what, you lose fuel at a constant rate of time, regardless of how much you're actually moving your tank. So that's why you always have to be on the move very quickly. It's not like sitting still will conserve fuel like it would with a real tank. So the fuel is more like a time limit, and then the fuel dumps are like bonus time.